Well, it's been a hot minute since our last video. Let me explain what's been going on.
No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
First, we made Mikey, then Donnie, now it's Raph's turn.
Let's talk! I dream about fighting every night.
You got a rage problem, Raph.
It's not a problem.
This should be fun. Hello and welcome back to the toilet water funneling, crumbling brick labyrinth that is my hobby hole. And today, we're starting by making a punching bag. And while we've all heard of hitting our head against a brick wall, now we can smack our fists against clay gym equipment. But all too real analogies for life aside, once we've covered this sausage of aluminum foil in clay, we can go ahead and start adding some details to this anger management device. We'll add some seams all around the top and down the sides. Then we'll scoop out this hole, which tells a story of when Donnie went too crazy in his training and knocked the stuffing out of it, quite literally, before adding some suggestions of stitching detail. And once it's gone through one round in the oven, we can move on to Donnie himself. We'll start as we always do by making an armature. Then to save a few dollars in clay expenses, we'll wrap some more aluminium foil around it. This will also make the build a bit lighter, which will be handy for when we hang it off of our diorama. And we'll just do a quick fit with the punching bag to make sure everything seems okay. And with that looking like it's going to work, we'll start to bulk out the body with more Super Sculpey. Once we've got Raphael's basic shape nailed down, we can then add some more details, like the front of his shell. And our mate Raph is a thick boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Especially when compared to his brothers. And this is especially noticeable in the front part of his torso, which is good and wide all the way through, with some very rugged edges. And he's also got some sick scars and battle damage, which incidentally I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on how he got them. In the Mutant Mayhem continuity, he obviously hasn't had much contact with humans, or much battle experience. So how on earth did they get there? Leave a comment down below with your wildest theories. His shell too is just as big and chonky as the rest of him, with the edge sections being especially gnarly and brute-like. But once we've got most of the shell in place, we'll go over it with some white spirit or rubbing alcohol, which will smooth it off a little bit, getting rid of any fingerprints and also dust particles or hair. Then we'll just add a little bit more clay to the center sections of the shell, before adding some line details with this sculpting tool. Next we'll move on to making the belt, starting with the belt buckle. And normally, sculpting perfect circles out of clay can be very difficult, especially if your name is Carl and you're me. The point is, luckily for you, or luckily for me, I have these little circular cutout tools. And once we've got the desired size for our circle, we can poke and prod at it a bit with this ball-ended tool to hollow out the middle. Then using some teeny tiny clay strips, we can start to make up the letter R. And because slapping loads of bandages everywhere is the new hotness in character design, let's give him a couple bandages wrapped around his belt buckle. And once we've given it a bit of a bake, we can stick it onto the rest of the belt, as well as adding this little side pouch. And with that all done, and the punching bag in place, we can start to build up the legs, including his feet and his little toesies, making sure to add some all-important wrinkle details, as well as toenails. Now it's time to make Raph's signature weapons that'll be plunging into that punching bag. It will start with these two bits of armature wire and then add some smaller armature wire to make up the prongs. Then we'll start to build up the details with some clay. And of course we don't need to sculpt the whole sai because 2/3 of the blade will be plunging into the punching bag. But of course for Raph to hold his sai, he logically needs some arms and hands. For this we'll use some cosclay, which remains flexible even after baking, hopefully making it easier to move his arms and sai into position when attaching them to the punching bag. Yeah, look at that, nice and flexible. Then we'll just mark out where the sai are going to go before drilling some holes into the punching bag using a discount non-Dremel Dremel. Then we'll just see if it all fits into place. Yeah, nice one. Next up is Raphael's head. Now normally with these turtle heads I start small and then bulk up. But just for a change of pace, and just because I can, this time I'll start big and work down, chopping bits of clay away as and when I need to. Talk about subverting expectations, stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Last Jedi. Anyway, once we've got the basic head shape down, we can push in some eye sockets, and then splice him open for a big cheesy grin. Then we'll give him a large set of teeth that your grandmother would be envious of, add some eyeballs, as well as a menacing pair of eyebrows. Then we'll add some more definition to the teeth before adding Mickey's trademark mask. With his head done, we'll stick it in place, give it a bit of a brushing over with some more rubbing alcohol, and then it's time for our usual painting montage. With Raph looking a bit more colourful now, it's time to move on to the base. And we want this diorama to fit in nicely with the other two we've made. So I have cut to size and glued together these two bits of XPS foam so that they'll match up nicely with Donnie's diorama. So we've already got Raphael hanging off of that punching bag, and we want that punching bag to be hanging off of something else, like a sewage pipe. This cardboard tube and piece of doweling should do the job nicely. And to make the tube look a bit more sewage pipe-like, we'll add these strips of foam. Then, just like always, to make the base of the base look a bit more rugged and concrete-like, we'll smash it to pieces with this piece of tinfoil. Next we'll slap on a primer layer of black gesso, before attempting to make the sewage pipe look all rusted and corroded. To do this, I'll use a mixture of brown acrylic paint and tiling grout. And we don't want this rust to be covered by any subsequent layers of paint, so we'll slap all over it a bit of masking fluid. This Lego valve handle will give it even more of a sewer pipe kind of look. Off camera, I'll give the whole pipe a spray in metallic silver. And then finally, all we need to do is make the hanging chains for the punching bag. For this, I'll just use 3 equally cut pieces of necklace chain that I stole from that I borrowed from my wife, attach them all together at one end, use some armature wire loops at the other end, and then attach onto those some pieces of ribbon material that have been colored to a similar color to the punching bag. Then we'll just super glue those to the punching bag itself, and I think we're just about done here. Hey, so that's part 3 of 4 of our Mutant Mayhem Ninja Turtle series in the bag. I hope you enjoyed it. All that's left now is their stoic leader, Leonardo. Please look forward to that video coming soon. But before that, I'm going to try and sneak in a video of another project I've been working on. Here's a hint as to what it is. Please be excited. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So until the next one, cheers and have a good one.